Welcome, Eagle fans. Joseph Swanson here again with head women's and men's track and field coach, Kate Goupee. Welcome, coach.
Hello.
Um, so I joke about this a little bit, but it seems like it was just yesterday we were sitting down talking about the cross country season. Here we are preparing for the upcoming outdoor season after indoor is just starting to get finished. But for those of viewers that aren't aware, track and field's a lot different than other sports in that a lot of your athletes either do two sports or three sports. I mean, a lot of your distance runners run cross country, segue into indoor and outdoor, which leads us into our first question. How, as a coach, do you try to balance the workload of your athletes so that they can stay fresh? That cross country runners going into indoor and doing three different sports aren't burnt out at the end of the season.
Yeah, we provide a lot of recovery time. So between cross country and the indoor season, we give our distance runners some time off. Not just from an athletic perspective, but to mental health and academic, to just take a couple of weeks to kind of regroup themselves holistically. And then they hit the indoor season, and right now our team is actually in the middle of a rotation where all athletes are getting 1 week off over a 3-week period. So the team is kind of rotating in for training to provide that recovery before we come back post spring break and have 2 months to kind of hit the ground running and finish up the academic year.
Segues well into indoor season. I want to take a few moments and talk about that. Men's and women's indoor season still going on. Getting ready to move into outdoor here in the next couple of weeks, but you really don't get much. I think it's a matter of like 4 or 5 days between 7 days between indoor and outdoor season. But you've had a really successful indoor season. The men, I know, very young. They've developed, shown glimpses that the program's starting to continue to rise like it's been. And then switching to the women's side, you return a lot of talented performers or athletes. And then you've had freshmen that have really stepped up this year. I know we've talked a lot that New England's are right around the corner, and you've had several athletes qualify for New England's that haven't done that in the past. So how has the indoor season gone?
Really well. The freshman grouping, especially on the female side, they've been outstanding across all event areas.
Right.
So hurdles, pole vault, throwing, distance running, sprinting. They've really contributed. And on the men's side, some of the freshmen in the sophomore class, including a transfer, have really shown sparks of what they're going to be able to do in the coming years, if it's not this year already. For the females, we're going to the New England Championships, and it's the first time in our program history to be sending 3 different relays that are all ranked top 20 in all of New England. The DMR, the 4x2, which is an all freshman grouping, and the 4x4. So we're really excited to see them compete this weekend. And like I said, they're top 20 in New England, so it bodes well for moving into an outdoor track in conference competition.
And going off script a little bit with that, as a coach, how happy does this make you feel that big freshman class you brought in this year has come in and performed right away, and that the future continues to look bright as you continue to build?
I think it's been a great combination of those students are getting experiences that will pay dividends in years to come. They'll be, by the time they're juniors and seniors, they'll be used to a bigger stage. They'll be more relaxed, thus more successful. Additionally, what it has allowed is some of our upperclassmen to not be spread so thin. Mm-hmm. It's allowed them to focus. Our 4x4 team isn't running the 4x2 now because the freshmen can run the 4x2 and run it well. So it's allowed some of our seniors to more specialize, which is great timing from them from an academic standpoint, where they're not feeling spread thin and tired when they get out of practice. They're able to provide energy towards other things like academics and mental health and life in general.
Okay. And then transitioning to the outdoor season, I want to talk about the men a little bit. Young, lost several pieces from last year's team, but what are your expectations for the men's team heading into the outdoor season?
That's a good question. I think we just need to see that we can compete, and it may be on an individual basis, and what pieces we really need to be working on from a recruiting perspective. Our distance crew, we've got Zach Hartman's back for his 6th year. We've got David Heileman. We've got Eric Lasacco. We've got James Ramos as a freshman. They're pretty solid. Richard Cromwell. There's a good crew there. Our throws are pretty young, but I think Jaden and Max can make an impact in the conference. Connor DeCourt transferring in. He's already set the school record in the indoor 400 and really is looking to place at the conference meet. So I think there's like these individual pieces there that we just need to get more in our numbers to get them up and running for collective success moving forward.
And then transitioning to the women's, which is almost a completely different atmosphere where you're the reigning outdoor North Atlantic Conference champion. Pressure's on you now. But what have you seen from that team, and then what are your expectations for them? I mean, you return a significant amount of last year's team that took home that conference title, and I know especially as juniors, seniors with some underclassmen, you know they want to leave on that high note too.
I think it's expectations they have. They expect to go. They do not expect to win. Mm-hmm. They expect to go and perform really well on their own personal expectations. I don't think they're not a group that's willing to sit back and say, well, we won it last year, you know, we're going to be fine. We expect we'll just roll over it again. It's no, we need to work hard every day, and the upperclassmen that have been part of that success are showing by example to the underclassmen that, yeah, everyone's going to say that we might be ranked first, but that doesn't mean we are. Mm-hmm. It means only that we need to work hard, and right. We need to make sure that we show up on meet day. And again, it's been a great balance of some leadership with some young whippersnappers that are really, the group seems to be coming together very nicely and supportive of everyone's roles, and that everyone's playing a role for the team's overall success at the end of the day.
Okay. And then lastly, you're preparing to head down south shortly. Much needed warmer weather, get into yes. some outdoor facilities, but dealing with the New England weather, how have you been able to, as a coach in a program, to have continued success year in and year out and continue to elevate the program year in?
It's the kids. It's really these athletes. Husson does a great job of drawing in hard-working individuals, and we, I think, try to find those individuals with regards to recruiting that are going to be passionate about the sport and willing to balance academic and athletics. And they're willing to drive themselves to practice. They're willing to practice at this time of night. They're willing to practice at this location. It's really what the athletes have been willing to do. Mm-hmm. And the coaching staff, I've got phenomenal coaching staff that work so hard to balance where we are, what time we are, what events practice they can get in, when they can get it in, how do we make meets work. I couldn't say enough about the coaching staff. My assistants are just phenomenal, and I think it's that combination of everyone really wanting to do well at the end of the day and being willing to really go above and beyond just to be able to participate in our sport. And something like spring break, having the opportunity to go down to, we're going to Georgia for 6 nights, we're in South Carolina for 3 nights, and we're excited just to have the opportunity to be on a track, practice every day, be together, and compete.
Not run in snow.
Not run in snow and ice. My distance runners love it, you know, but yeah, the rest of the team is excited to be outside.
Well, that's all the questions I've got. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, sit down and talk with me today. Wish you the best of luck heading into your outdoor seasons.